Joining me on the program from Laidlaw College, Matt Maslin. Matt, kia ora, good morning. Thanks for your time today.
Kia ora, good to be here.
This is a bit of a spooky one for some people. Can I paint a picture and you tell me whether I'm on message for this one? The idea of using, AI-assisted technology to create a digital avatar of loved ones so that we can continue to have some type of relationship with that person after they pass on, and also for us to create a digital avatar of ourselves to achieve this e-immortality. Is this the sort of thing that we're talking about here, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is actually a kind of a growing field in AI that has been developing over the last few years, and I've been paying attention to. And it's something you're pretty spot on with it. Right now I'm looking at a website called Etername. And it's this idea that me could go on for eternity into the digital afterlife, so to speak. And so on the website, they say Etername is an artificial intelligence digital replica of you, built from your digital footprint, emails, social media posts, smartphone, and wearables data. This digital twin will learn from you, grow with you, help you, and eventually live on after you die.
Wow.
And so we're seeing this rise of kind of digital self-downloading or digital twinning, where AI can take all your data and try and recreate you. And then there's this kind of promise that once you die, they'll be able to make an avatar version of you, or a kind of a version of you that your loved ones might be able to interact with after you die. I mean, it's all very kind of self-indulgent, isn't it? Thinking that anyone would want to hang out with me after I'm gone. But yeah, this is a rising field in AI technology, and one I think the church needs to pay pretty close attention to, because it reveals some things about our culture's longings, what it values, and how it's thinking about life after death, really.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose it does say, look, let's look at it from a positive point of view, because honestly, it's a bit creepy, actually. I had an experience over the weekend where I involved in ancestry websites. My wife calls it Facebook for dead people, and I think she's right. But the AI was able to take a photograph of a long dead relative who turned their head towards me and smiled. And I thought, oh gosh, I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but this is the sort of thing that we are talking about. I mean, it's moving beyond the, hey, I've got this little avatar with a bobblehead that pops around the metaverse, to something which is really a lot more similar to ourselves, both in physical appearance, but also knows the sorts of phrases that we use when we talk, knows the sorts of things that we like and that we don't like. That, I suppose, the learning tools of AI can create something which is spookily similar to the sort of person that we are, or that other people would recognize.
Yeah, 100%. And back in 2020, there was this really interesting documentary that was made where the crew worked with some virtual reality producers with a grieving mother to reunite her with her dead daughter. And so what they did is they kind of recreated her dead daughter virtually, and then got her to wear VR and kind of created a virtual interaction with the daughter. And that wasn't using AI, that was all kind of scripted.
Yep.
But now there are kind of virtual reality AI groups, one's called Deep Brain AI, who are saying they're going to take people's data, recreate them digitally, and then you can have virtual reality goggles that you put on, and then you can interact in a kind of bespoke way with a relative that's passed. And this particular business, they charge $1,000 an hour for this kind of digital meeting, and to develop the kind of technology, it costs $10,000. And so a kind of sinister part to all of this is the monetization of people's grief.
Yeah.
Now, in the case with the woman in the Korean documentary, she was quite happy with the whole process. But I think there is this this kind of sinister or darkness around making money off reuniting people with dead loved ones, and that's something that we should be aware of in a consumeristic culture that doesn't really value the teaching around death, or doesn't really care about people's feelings so much as it does about making money.
I mean, let's head towards the light, to use an afterlife metaphor here, because there could be some positive things. And that example that you gave, if somebody has got some unresolved feelings, if they are still processing the loss of a loved one, an opportunity for them to briefly reconnect, to put it in perspective, to say the words they've always wanted to say. Could there be some positive, compassionate grounds where this technology could be a blessing? It could be something that the church could say, yes, we can support this, we see the benefit?
Potentially, and I don't think we know enough about its impact on people yet to really know how beneficial this can be, or detrimental it can be for people. I'm a bit more cynical about the benefits of it, and I think what it's revealing is, in the West, we don't really have many tools to deal with grief and death very well, and we're confronted by our own mortality and the kind of fleetingness of this life. But outside technology, secularism doesn't really have any philosophical tools to offer us. And so this kind of transhumanist idea that we can just provide a technological experience of life when someone dies is pretty much one of the only kind of approaches secularism has to death. And my kind of theological take on it is e-immortality is like the TMU version, or the Wish version, of Christian hope and the resurrection. And that's because Christian hope is an embodied hope. We're not just talking about seeing your loved ones, the concepts of your loved ones, or the ideas of your loved ones, or a recreation of your loved ones. The Christian hope is your embodied loved ones in community in the presence of God for eternity. And I think that's a better hope than e-immortality. But this longing to be to live on, to be remembered, to engage with people beyond death, I think it does reveal a longing that people have in secular society for eternity, really. And amazingly, this really old book, Ecclesiastes, talks about how God has set eternity on the human heart. And I think we see this in this whole situation, right? That people long for something beyond death, for eternity, for the kind of confronting present to not be all that is.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to put things in perspective in terms of hope, read Ecclesiastes. I mean, that's not a bad place to start. But I really do think this is important, actually. The secular world has found, hey, there's this gaping hole in what is satisfying to us. Let's try and find a technological solution, and maybe an opportunity here for, if anything, for the church to lean in and say, hey, we recognize this need that people have. We recognize that that grief is a difficult process, that our lack of immortality is something which troubles all of us. This is common to the human condition. I suppose a great opportunity to tell our story in relationship and not in virtual relationship.
Yeah, and to affirm that this longing that we have for eternity finds its basis in being created humans, and I kind of think of that C.S. Lewis quote, which I'll completely butcher, but that if I find a longing in my heart that can't be satisfied in this world, I have to assume that actually I wasn't created just for this world. And it's a bit of a dualist take on things, but really I think it reveals something true, that we have this dissatisfaction that we experience in this life that can't be met by the temporal, that can't be met by the digital world as well, I would argue. But actually it's our longing for eternal communion with God in his good creation.
And to offer a stark alternative to, because honestly, once people figure out how they can fully monetize this, the opportunities and the possibilities are not only endless but very disturbing, Matt. So for the church to offer a positive, less exploiting alternative may be a wonderful opportunity in God. Hey,
Yeah.
fascinating conversation. I'm not sure anybody would want to talk to me in the afterlife. I'm still surprised that people want to talk to me in this life, Matt.
I would, mate.
Well,
We could
thank
do
you.
some back and forth.
Maybe we'll see you on the other side. But hey,
Maybe.
thanks.
Hopefully not too soon.
Exactly. No hurries, bro. Hey, thanks very much for this conversation. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.